Hi folks, Indy Truck Davey out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's a beautiful day, 8 degrees, lovely. Anyway, another Davey Short. And what's today's Davey Short all about? It's the runners and riders for the SNP leadership. Okay, so today is the closing date, in fact 12 p.m. today, 12 o'clock today, so it's past, for applications to run for leadership of the party and to be First Minister of Scotland. We have got three hats in the ring, so let's have a quick look at them. Now that Ash has officially started her campaign today, let's have a look at them. So we'll start with Kate Forbes, who threw her hat in the ring pretty early on. Kate's been taking a pounding in the press about her religion. A lot of rubbish, of course, even though David thinks it's going to be all right to beat her up, as long as it doesn't influence a manifesto or policy, then there's nothing wrong with having somebody moral in charge. But the real reason why Kate's getting it in the neck is because they're scared of her. All the trouble that Westminster's ever had out of Scotland has come to the Highlands. Kate's a Highlander. Kate's also in the 16 to 35 age group, which is 72% predominantly yes. And as we know for the last referendum, it wasn't the old folks that lost it for us. It was the 16 to 35-year-olds who couldn't put their Xboxes down or get out their beds. Couldn't be bothered going to the polling station. Kate could mobilise that particular age group, and if she could get 80-90% of that particular age group into a polling station, then Kate will win a referendum. She's also talking about independence as quickly as possible. All right, so that's why Kate's getting it in the neck. They're scared of her. They're scared of her for two particular reasons. All the trouble that the Westminster in England ever had out of Scotland has come to the Highlands, and she's in the 16 to 35 age group, and she can motivate that lot to get out and vote. And that scares the pants off them. So that's why Kate's getting it in the neck the worst. Nothing to do with being a wee free. After all, Ian Blackford's a wee free. It's never been a problem for him. But they didn't fear him the way they fear Kate. Let's move on to Humza. Now, Humza doesn't really worry them because Humza's a gradualist. You know, Humza said we'll need to build 60% support constantly. And there's no way any polling done is going to show that. We already know it's up there 60%, but the polling's not going to show it. Because whoever commissions the poll gets the answer they're looking for and how the questions are put in the poll. Simple as that. Right, but Humza, he did a reasonable job as a transport minister, reasonable job as justice secretary, reasonable job, in fact a fantastic job right now as health secretary, no matter what the Muppets say. He's doing a fantastic job as health secretary right now. So Humza would probably be a safe pair of hands when it comes to being a good First Minister. But he's a gradualist and he wants a few years of support of over 60% to try and persuade Westminster to part with a Section 30 order, because that's what Alistair Jack has said. But as you know and we know, unionists lie. Unionists even lie to unionists. Look at what's going on in Northern Ireland. Now, Ash has started her campaign by saying she wants to unite the Yes movement and, you know, move on to independence and build for there, uniting the Yes movement. The thing about that is the Yes movement has only ever been united during a campaign. And even during that last campaign, which ran for 2 years, which was much too long, there was splits in the Yes movement, there's splits in the No movement. You know, everybody's got a different idea of how things should be. Main thing is that when it comes to the crunch, they all step up to the plate, tick the box. People seem to be making a big deal out of the fact that Ash has been getting advice for the common weal and has been seen talking and with Alpha Party members as well. I talk to Alpha Party members all the time. All of my friends are Alpha Party members. You know, they're not all raving idiots like some of the loony fringe that we've got. You know who I'm talking about. So they're not all raving loonies. Some of them even know it's going to take 20 to 30 years for Alpha to become a force in Scottish politics. Some of them are realistic enough to know that Alex Salmond, just because he's Alex Salmond, isn't enough to win them elections. They're not all raving lunatics. But Ash has been looking for outside advice on the way forward and try to unite a movement that doesn't need uniting, because a short, sharp campaign will see all the bitterness put aside and you will see it go ahead. Now, if they're talking about a plebiscite election, it won't be a short, sharp campaign. 16, 18 weeks. And the nonsense will all go out the window. As we all get out there with our eyes on the prize and start explaining things like borders, currency, trade, that sort of thing. All right. So I'm not going to tell you, SNP members, how to vote. They fear Kate. They're not bothered too much about Humza, and they don't fancy Ash to get anywhere near the job. So make your own minds up, folks. But the first week of folk throwing their hat in the ring, and that's what I've been able to fathom from it. Make what you like for that. But as I'm reading the ruins in front of me and the press, it's they're frightened of Kate because she can mobilise that younger vote, and being for the Highlands, she wants it. There's one of the reasons why independence has always been important for the Highlands is the population. The population trap. You heard Angus Brendan McNeil MP talking about it on the Two Davies when he did the interview with us. Right, so obviously the Highlanders are more anxious to get their horns on the hands of power so they can get the Highlands repopulated. I mean, the Highlands is an underused resource and has been ever since the Queencies. As I say, but they fear Kate. Humza, they're no bothered with one way or another. He'll try and get that 60% support shown in the polls. Tell you, no, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. There'll never be a sustained 60% in the polls. Because the polling companies all belong to the UK. None of them are really Scottish. None of them have got Scottish interests at heart. Simple as that. And as I say, Ash once thinks that we need to unite a movement that doesn't need uniting. To say if it's going to be a plebiscite election, it's a short campaign, 3-4 months, no time to do anything except for get out there and convince people how to vote. And you're not going to do that by saying SNP bad, Alpha bad. You're going to do that by telling them how we're going to trade internationally, how we're going to run our borders and trade, how we're going to control immigration, how we're going to constitute a central bank, and how we're going to create a currency. And the ability to be able to point out that 100 countries have done it in the last 60 years. So when they ask us how you going, we say, well, look at that country there. Look at Serbia and Czechia. Look at Slovakia and the Czech Republic. How did they do it? Being the most recent of them and the most successful of them. And they'll say, what? Well, how did they do it? They managed it. So if they manage it, we can manage it. It's no reinventing the wheel is what we tell them when they ask us how you going. For those of you who've seen the How You Going video, you know that's what I mean. Anyway, that's the Davy Short on the runners and riders. They're frightened of Kate. They're no bothered about Humza. They don't fancy Ash to get anywhere near it. So that's what I've taken out the first week here. Right. I'll do another one of these next Friday. A wee short to tell you what I've got out of the second week of it. All right. Now, I know I'm not putting out notices for these things, so I'm very pleased to see the viewership so high. And it's nice to see you all managed to get notification to come and switch on and watch. So, as I say, that's how I see it. They're scared of Kate because the age range that she can get out and appeal to. They're no bothered about Humza because he'll do exactly what they want him to be. He'll make a good first minister. And they don't fancy Ash at all. And Ash's big pledge is to unite a movement that doesn't need united, because it will unite itself when a campaign is finally called. Okay. That's the Davy Shop. I'm no planning broadcasting the weekend, but something might get up my ding and I might put another short out, because I don't have to script these 10-minute things. Okay, you guys, have a nice day, have a nice weekend, look after yourselves, look after each other, and don't be panic buying tomatoes. Say goodbye, Madam Director.
Goodbye, Madam Director.
Have a nice weekend, folks.